There is often a divide between those who say the clergy sexual abuse crisis is about power and those who say it's about sex. Similarly, there's a divide on sexual violence. Some people see it as a crime of sex, some see it as a crime of power. I am not so sure that we can separate sex from power. Recently, I saw an exhibit at Loyola in Los Angeles, and it was by an artist, an Irish artist, who was inspired to create an art exhibit about the crisis that would speak to the pain of Irish Catholics like her mother, who had been forced to walk away in despair. One room, perhaps you've heard about it, had dozens of First Communion dresses and altar boy vestments suspended from the ceiling. The artist embroidered a snake covering a key, symbolizing the evil brought into children's lives, sewn upon their childhoods by the church. Another room has a confessional with glass walls. Inside, the viewer can see a small chair for a child and a large kneeler for an adult. "Bless me, child, for I've sinned," it's called. The third room is dark and it holds the author's rendering of the Stations of the Cross, but there aren't any crosses or human images because the author remembers finding those scary as a child. So it's just embroidery and flickering lights, a sign of the sacred, she says, and of hope. The exhibit brings attention to power of the clergy who abused and endangered children with their secrecy and self-protective procedures, the power of clergy over vulnerable people in spaces that were supposed to be sacred. Yet the viewer can't walk away without thinking about sex. The haunting dresses and vestments hanging from the ceiling suggest the soul trauma brought about by sexual abuse. The glass reminds us of what went on behind closed doors, of the violation of vulnerable bodies. We can't get around the idea that this particular abuse of power was sexual. This crisis is about power, but it is also about sex. It's about power enacted through sexual acts, which means that in order to heal the breach, we have to ask questions about sex.